Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising. Hello and welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. Today I have with me Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Misty.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
Good. I'm excited to have you on the podcast. This is good stuff. So, Rachel, would you please share with the audience what is your full name and what do you do?
My name is Rachel Kramarchuk. I'm a wealth manager with Carson Wealth, but I focus solely on helping business owners retire, helping them plan for what's next for them and how they're going to get there.
Exit strategies, baby. We love this conversation.
Yeah.
Before we dive into that, where in the world are you?
I'm in Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
Okay, so suburb of Denver, y'all. If you're not familiar with Denver, it's a suburb of Denver. We have listeners all over the United States and all over the world. So, it's something new that we've added in recently is making sure that we tell our listeners where the guests are from. It's quite fun for people because we get people from all over the world.
Yeah, we're south of Denver.
hmm Well, I'm super excited to have this conversation with you. Exit strategies is a big conversation in my world. I have a mastermind for it, which you've been to. Thank you for coming. And I think it's really important for business owners to know what their options are. When a lot of business owners, so they're excellent at their craft, but they don't know the other stuff. And we always talk about that in the business community. Those of us as advisors who support the business owners, it's like, yeah, the business owners are great at the business that they do, but they're not experts in finances unless they're a financial expert. They're not an expert in what does it take to have a sellable business and what does that process look like? And that's okay. I'm not an expert in everything. And that's not a knock on the business community. It just is. We all have our strength, we all have our expertise. And outside of that, we don't know what we don't know. So I'm really excited to have these conversations with you because it can help shed light on, well, what do I need to know if I want to sell my business? What do I need to know if I want to retire effectively and have money in the bank, right? So
Yeah.
let's dive in. We're going to have some conversations in the future, but today's conversation, let's dive into that. So, business evaluations. This is a fun one. What what does that mean to you, first and foremost? What do business evaluations mean to you, and how does it come into play from your area of expertise as a wealth manager?
Yeah. So people get business valuations for many different reasons. Um, if you're if you're getting a divorce and you have to, there's a legal proceedings that the business is involved in, you need to get a certified business valuation. If there's anything that is legal, or tax related, then you need to get a certified valuation done from a certified professional.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all at those costs $10,000, $20,000, depending on the complexity.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a business owner, you want to exit your business in 3 to 5 years and you need to do some planning. What you need is more of an informal valuation. A lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
uh, business brokers will do them. At Carson, we have some software and some capabilities in order to do them.
Okay.
And this gives you a good idea of what your business is currently valued at.
Mm-hmm.
We use a lot of the same tools that the expensive ones are using. They might use a few different methods to come to their number. Um, but but we're doing a really good job at looking at what makes up the value of your business currently. And it's a very good educational tool, especially for people planning for retirement or even growing your business. Because if you know what your business is currently valued at and you know what's driving that, like, oh, I had some discounts because my I have customer concentration issue. If one of my customers left, I would be in real trouble. So then your business is not valued the same as a business
Mhm.
that is equally profitable, same industry, same size, all else being equal. You have this really big risk. Your business is going to be valued lower. So you know, as you grow, I need to make sure that I solve for that issue.
Mhm.
Um, the other part of your question you asked is like, how does it kind of apply in our role? We plug it into our clients' financial plans. So we do business valuation, understand where they are currently. And then we use a financial planning tools that looks at what are the goals of the business owner, what kind of lifestyle do they want to lead now and in retirement, and plan for all these data points and then figure out what's the gap between where they are right now and where they need to be.
Yeah.
And that's where we focus a lot of our time on for business owners.
Yeah. I love the wealth management strategies that come into play when we're looking at the growth of a business. Where do we want to exit? How much do we want to get from the exit? Now, how do we back that up to what do we need to hit each year? What is the gross revenue that we need to hit each year in order to make this a reality? So there's a lot of complexities that go into that when they, go through this process with someone like yourself. And I appreciate that journey because as a coach who works with business owners, it gives us a solid number that we have to aim for. And from that perspective, it's like, okay, now how do we hit this number?
Yeah.
So, how much do we need to grow each year? Well, what numbers do we need to hit? And then how much do we need to grow each year? And how do we execute that? How do we make that a reality? So that's the fun part for me, is
Yeah.
when I'm like, ooh, let's go figure out like how do we actually make this happen?
Yeah, it's so great for the business owner to have a good team of people. That's good for them to
Hmm.
have a financial advisor, a wealth advisor that understands business and can read a P&L and has looked at these things and can integrate their valuation and wealth gap into their plan. And then it's good for them to have somebody that can help them get there, help them execute, hold their hand while they grow their business. So
That's
pretty
me
important. Yep.
all day, every day. It's like, okay, here's the plan, but now what do we do?
Yeah.
That's where I come in. And I also bring my clients to people like yourself that are in that process of, okay, I'm really serious. I'm 1 to 10 years out. So I deal with people that are 1 to 10 years out from their exit because it can take that long to build it to exit.
Yep.
So if they're in that process or we're like, okay, let's start working toward this, I will bring my clients when appropriate to a wealth manager that can strategize with me. So very important that I bring my clients to the right people and create the right team for them. So I love doing that. It's part of my strength and my wheelhouse, and it's a great thing that I'm able to do for my clients. So I think it's really fun to be able to do this with my clients. I know it's serious for them, but for me it's fun, and I also take into consideration that this is their livelihood, this is their business, this is a real thing that we're dealing with, which is why I love bringing the right experts to the table and saying, "Hey, let's really talk through this. Let's really work through this and make sure that we're making educated decisions and not just flying by the seat of our pants and guessing."
Yeah.
I mean, there is a little bit of guesswork no matter what, but let's eliminate as much as we can. So, um, it's quite fun for me, and I love sitting down with other experts like yourself and just being like, okay, here's this business, here's what they're dealing with, here's what the goal is. Now, what's your take on it? And I love hearing the feedback. I love the wisdom that comes out of other experts when we get their eyes on it. And I'm like, again, this is why having a team is so vital
Yeah, you've done a
because,
good job of building a
yeah,
team of people that can surround the business owner and make sure that they get from where they are right now to where they need to be. It's
thank
great.
you. Thank you. And I appreciate the wisdom and the value that all the team members bring and people like yourself that you bring to the table. Because again, I'm an expert in my lane, but it's so cool to see everybody else and like, let's sprinkle this knowledge in here and this wisdom in here. And then it's like, oh, bam, we even have a bigger picture. It's like, ah, it's so like the impact this has on the business owner. And I can sum it down to one thing is that it makes their dream a reality. And that is a game changer. So when you have the right team of advisors that you're working with as you're moving through the business journey and you're looking at an exit, potential exit, even if it's way in the future, having the right team around you will take this dream and bring it into reality. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I hoped it was possible, but now I actually know it is. And you know, that changes people. When they
Yeah,
know that their dream is achievable, it shifts everything. So that is the biggest benefit that I see from having all of us potentially on somebody's team and feeding the right information to people. Your dream becomes a reality. And business evaluations are a part of that, right? So back to our
yeah.
topic at hand, business evaluations for there are different reasons to have a business evaluation. So let's look at it from anything from a mergers and acquisitions transaction. That could be like one of my clients is looking at buying into an existing business and buying out a couple of the partners where there's
Yeah,
four partners and three want to leave, two are leaving this year. So that is an M&A transaction. She's buying into an existing business. Well, guess what? They need an evaluation done. They've got to get a business evaluation done in order to give her the appropriate numbers so she can make an offer. That's one
yeah.
scenario.
No, it's very important, and it's important for her. What I think that happens sometimes is people get business valuations and from whatever side it is, if it's the seller or the buyer, but someone gives you the 60-page report and you don't really understand what it means. But from her perspective, if she's getting involved, she needs to understand, like, how is it being valued? Yes, somebody said this number, but why? And
Where did
really
it
pull it
come
apart.
from?
Yeah, because business valuations, like you said, there's a purpose for each one of them. But in an actual M&A transaction, it's a planning tool, because once you really get to sell, there's a lot of things that can impact the actual price somebody will pay for your business. I mean, it
hmm
could be what type of buyer? Is it a financial buyer or is it a strategic buyer? Is it a strategic buyer and they really need this one component of your business? They're going to pay
hmm
a lot more than, a private equity firm that's rolling you into their portfolio and they need to flip it in 5 years. And so they are going to have to really focus on margins and make sure they make a profit. So, and yeah, yeah, there's just like a lot of
So
factors.
many variables,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many
It's
variables. And
really,
people,
it's like selling a house. You would list it, but somebody might love, your neighborhood, and this is where they always wanted to be, and they end up offering way over, or
mhm.
yeah. So
But it's not as easy as selling a house because there are
yeah,
so many
definitely.
variables, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's a
a
lot
lot
more
of
complex.
so complex, which is why we work with people that are years out from their exit because it is so complex. We need a longer or longer runway
Yeah,
in order to ensure that they get the best exit possible and the highest multiple on their exit. So lots of factors go in. It's like, where are you at in the market? What industry are you in? Your industry affects your multiple. One
Mhm.
industry is going to have a 2x, one industry is going to have a 4x, one industry is going to have a 13x. It varies, which is why it's so important to have the right people. So, this particular client that we're talking about, I took her to Jeff at SDR and we sat down and had a discussion around this thing that we're dealing with of potentially buying into this business. And he said, "Here's my opinion on it, here's my take on it, and here's what I've experienced in these scenarios. Here's another company that can do an evaluation for them as the owners, right? Because at that point, it becomes a conflict of interest for him to do an evaluation for a potential client."
Yeah.
So, uh, it was great. And he was like, "You know what? You can pay me a consulting fee if you want me to walk you through the rest of this." And I was like, "Thank you." It doesn't have to be coming at STR and selling the business. It could be anything that falls under the M&A transactions. This is part of it. So I was like, okay, cool. If client needs Jeff moving forward, she could just pay him a consulting fee. Done. Awesome.
Yeah.
And he gave her some great tips and some great feedback and said, "You know what? There might come a time in this deal where they just offer you a sweet ass number and you take it. So don't be quick to go in guns blazing, right? Like
Yeah.
be armed with the right information." But he
So you know
said,
when it's that good deal
right.
too. Yeah.
So you know that if they throw a number at you and you're like, "That's a no-brainer, let's go." And he
Yeah.
said that it happens more often than not in these kind of situations. And it was so great to get his feedback because that's what he does all day, every day. So he has a greater suppling of experiences in that space than I do. And this is where I lean heavily upon my network and my team is when I'm like, "Hey, okay, M&A attorney structures these transactions all day, every day. He has thousands of deals that he's structured. Do I have that experience? No. So go talk to my M&A attorney because he knows how to give you the right languaging to structure the deal appropriately." So, I mean, it's fun, so much fun to sit down with clients and like, okay, what experts do we need? And let's talk through this and get the right perspective and the right lens on it. So I trust that she is fully armed and ready to
Yeah.
either make an offer, accept an offer, or walk away. So,
Yeah. I think that's great. Getting her the network she needs to in order to, have the data she needs to make confident decisions.
mhm,
You don't want to
definitely.
miss out on something or go down a road that's not a good fit because you weren't armed with the right information.
Yeah. So you said that you guys do some pretty light business evaluations. Is that a tool that
Yeah.
you have on the website?
No, we don't have it on our website.
Okay.
We do it in-house and then with utilizing some software. But really, I think our value is the walking them through it. For example, I have a business owner client. They paid $10,000 to get a business valuation. They had to get a certified valuation because he had a partner die that he owned a restaurant with, and
Mm,
so they were restructuring and needed to get this.
mm,
But we talked to him a couple of years after that, and he had only looked at like the first page of the business valuation, and it said, your business is valued at $1 million. And so that's what he was thinking he'd be able to sell his business for. And we walked him through the valuation that this other company had done. We even talked to the CPA that performed the valuation. And it turns out he had some PPP money, the protection,
mm, mm,
COVID
mm-hmm,
protection money
mm-hmm.
in the business at the time that the valuation was done. So that was making up a huge part of it. His business was really only valued at $600,000.
Wow.
So it's just like things like that. Like he spent so much money and still didn't even understand what was making up his business value. And so while ours is like a light version, a planning version, the benefit really is just walking someone through like, hey, here's the areas where you're weaker. Here's
Mm-hmm,
where, y- you know, here's what your business is doing right. Here's where you
Hmm.
fall. Like you said, different industries have different multiples, but you can also land in a range within your industry. You could be at the high end or you could be at the
Hmm.
low end. So
There
where
is a
are
range for
you?
each
Yeah,
industry. So this is
exactly.
why, you guys, this is why we're telling you that this process is so complex because different industries have different multiples, but within the same industry, within one singular industry, there are
Mhm.
different multiples depending on where you fall in the market and
Yeah.
what are you at 1 million in your business. Maybe your multiple is 4x, but then if somebody in the same industry had a $5 million business, maybe their multiple is at 8x because it's more desirable for some magical reason out there for VCs or investors, right?
Yeah.
This, this world is nuts and I love it. Like I love
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, it is complicated, but it also is not, I mean, you can understand like let's say there's two businesses. They're same industry, same size, uh, same customer base,
Mhm.
but one, the business owner does absolutely everything in that business. They
Uh-oh.
like they work 60 hours a day or yeah, 60 hours a week. They're doing everything and they make all the sales, they have all the relationships, they even help
Uh,
make the product, help make things go. And then another business that's the same size, same industry, but the owner checks in, he does what he enjoys doing, isn't overly involved, takes long vacations, takes every Friday off or whatever.
mhm.
If you're a buyer and you're coming in and you're like, which of
Wait,
these
wait, wait.
businesses would I want to buy? Do you want to
Yeah.
buy the one that's going to crumble when the owner leaves, or do you want to buy the one that's already running smoothly, has good leadership in place, has
Mhm.
good systems in place,
Yeah.
and can sustain
Before
itself without you?
Correct. Before you give away too much, let's ask the audience. Which
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, let's ask the audience. So we're gonna ask the audience to think about this. Which business do you think would be more desirable if you were an investor or a VC? So let's go through those scenarios real quick once again. And I want them to think about it through this lens. I want the audience to think about if I were a VC or an investor, which business would I buy and why? Right? So let's get the audience thinking about that. Okay, so scenarios. First
Okay.
scenario. All right.
Yeah, first scenario was company, the owner is involved in everything, working a lot of hours each week. He makes the sales. He has the relationships with the customers, and then he's even is involved in like producing what they sell. And then company two is exactly the same in every other way that matters. But the owner takes long vacations. He isn't needed for every decision. Checks in, but it's not vital to have him around in order for the company to make money.
Hmm. All right, you guys, think about it. Which one would you want to buy? And think about why. So, we are going to give you our opinion on these two scenarios. And it's going to be a little bit different perspective from my side than it is yours, but I think we're both going to agree on which one is more desirable. If I were a VC, which one would I buy? So, if you're okay, I'll start
Yep.
because I'm chomping at the bit here because I'm like, this is my wheelhouse. I love it. So, scenario number two. For those of you that are like, well, I would buy number two. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Here's why. So, in order to have a successful exit, we need to make sure we have a sellable asset. And if the business owner slash CEO is removable from the business and replaceable, you have a sellable asset at hand. If the business owner slash CEO is in the day to day all day long and the business runs solely on that person's effort, it is not very sellable.
Mhm.
So, this is where I come in as a coach who works with business owners. This is where I come in and I help them make it a sellable asset and I help them remove themselves from the business depending on them so that the business can run on its own and be a well-oiled machine. At that point, we have a sellable asset. So a VC can drop in another CEO after the transaction is finished, meaning sometimes they want the current business owners to stay on for 6 months to a year to 2 years, and then they'll hire another person and put them in there. So that's another story that we'll get into on another episode in the future. There's so many different little bunny trails we can go down. But anyhow, number two,
Yep.
number
Yep.
two
Number
is
two.
the one that I would buy.
Yeah. Well, and that's a
Now,
good point. The first company is pretty much unsellable. There might be, some crazy person that wants to take on all that and wants to buy and then buy
mm,
themselves a job and do it. But it's
and
going to
take on
be,
their client list.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
If it's sold, it's going to be sold at a very low multiple in that
correct.
range,
Yeah,
if at all. A lot of companies try to sell and they're not able to. There's some stats out there. Exit Planning Institute and some other groups have done some research and say about like 30% of the companies that try to sell are actually able to. So there's a lot
mm,
that are, like you said, they haven't done the work ahead of time. They haven't worked with someone like Misty, and
hmm,
they're not sellable. It's not transferable to a new owner, the value of the business.
correct. So yeah, if you guys are thinking about exiting, this is why we need a long runway because we do have to work through all these things. We have to work to make sure that you are removable from the business, and that takes years. It doesn't happen overnight. So, I mean, there's the rare business owner out there that's lucky and gifted with a very strategic mind and can see these things like 10 years ahead. And they're like, I need to make sure that I can sell this in the future. So therefore, I need to be removed from it and just make sure that the business runs on its own. Like, rarely it does happen. There are those people out there that can think about those things and be forward thinking enough and strategic enough to figure it out. But that's not generally the case.
Mhm.
So bless those who
Well,
are.
yeah, if you are so wrapped up in the day to day, it's hard to have the energy to make that strategy without a partner there for you.
Mhm. Yeah. And this is another reason why business owners need to have the right advisors in their corner so we can help them see those blind spots. Well, you don't want to put your blood, sweat, and tears and your heart and soul into a business for 20 years and then be like, okay, I want to sell it and think that it's as easy as selling a house. Well, just put it on the market and it'll sell.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Mhm.
So please, please, please do not let your baby go to waste because it breaks my heart, you guys. This is a one of those triggers for me. It's a massive pain point when I hear, "Oh, we've had the business for 20 years, but we're just going to walk away from it."
Yeah.
Oh, can you please don't do that to your baby? Please. Just don't. Don't allow that to happen. That is the most tragic thing I see in the business community. Don't walk away. Just no, don't. Like spend 5 years before you get to that mark. Hey, let's plan this out. Let's figure this out. Let's make it a sellable asset so that you feel that sense of accomplishment on the back end when you're like, yeah, I put 20 years into this and here was my exit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that feel better?
I mean, I'm glad you have this podcast and you're getting the information out there that people need to look at this ahead of time. Because if you get to the point where you're burned out and you're just like, I'm done, it's too late. You got to look at it years ahead of time and be ready and have a plan and then exit on your terms and the way you want to and get something out of what you've spent your life building.
Hmm. Yep. And make sure that you guys get a light evaluation. If you want to retire in 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, you want to sell the business and maybe selling it to an investor, maybe selling it to another business owner, or maybe selling it to someone coming out of corporate. Maybe you're selling it in-house. Okay. There are many different ways that this happens. Maybe it's a family member. Who knows, right? But get the light evaluation done, please. So, uh, you guys do that at Carson Wealth. Awesome. Great. Wonderful. I know that Jeff has done that at SDR for me at times. He's done some light evaluations for me just so that we know where we're going.
Yeah.
And that's really important. And that can be a painful process, you guys. So the evaluation, we're talking about it like it's this easy breezy thing. Light evaluations aren't as painful, but you have to expose all the good stuff and the truth about your business and the numbers and where you're at and the debt that you have. And that can be a painful process. So I want you to know going into it that it might be emotional. It might have like some personal difficulties as you bring yourself to the evaluation, and that's okay. I'm sure Rachel can talk you through that process and handhold you and be like, you know what, it's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. But once you have the truth, then you know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like fill in the blanks there, girl. Come on.
Yeah, I haven't had too many owners getting having too hard of a time. I think they've enjoyed the process of kind of figuring out where they're at. Um, and I mean, there's a bit of like uh, difficulty with this is your baby, and you don't want to see the flaws in your baby.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about is
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, don't put a microscope on this. I don't want to see it. Yeah,
Yeah, but I've worked with some good level-headed business owners, so
that's
I
good.
think that's helpful.
Yep, yep. And it is what it is. Like I've seen all sides of that coin where, oh man, do I really want to see the truth? And then the truth just like changed everything for the better.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah. I mean, I think having information there's even if it's a little bit painful or a little bit uncomfortable. I think uncomfortable is probably better than painful, but even if that's the case, it's so much better to have the information,
hmm
to know where you're going, where you need to be going. That's why we always plug it into the financial plan and go back to that. Like,
hmm
what does this mean in terms of what are you going to get in your pocket after taxes? Which I know we can talk about taxes another time, but
That's
it's
another
good.
day.
Yeah, it's good to account for them. You know, if your business is valued at 5 million, do you know how much of that is actually going to end up funding your retirement?
hmm
And how much do you need in order to fund that retirement? What are you trying to
Nice.
do and everything? So I mean, there's fun components of it too. Like
Oh, totally,
you're not just
totally,
picking apart your business. You get to dream about where you want to be and how you're going to get there. So that can be fun too.
totally. So if you're one of those people that's like, do I really want to do a light evaluation? Do I really want to know the truth? Uh, yeah. Figure out how to work through those emotions and just do it. Because it helps us to figure out what it actually we need to do, right? What do we need to aim for? How do we need to grow the business? What needs to actually happen? So it's in that space where you can create a solid strategy for the business moving forward because you have a clear picture. Clarity is everything. So I'm a huge proponent of clarity.
Yeah.
Let's go. So thank you. I am so grateful that you guys offer those light evaluations. That means a lot to me, especially, and to the business community. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm super excited to have you back on. Just so the audience knows, we're going to do some more interviews moving forward just because there's so much to talk about in this topic
Yeah.
around exit planning and exit strategies and all those things. So, thank you. This is number one. So, business evaluations and the importance of them, and why would you possibly need them? So, I hope we've done a good job at covering the overview of the business evaluations. Is there anything that you would love to leave the audience with today?
I think I just always like to stress, I mean, this is the starting point in everything. It's important to know two numbers. It's important to know what your business is currently valued at, like we've talked about, and it's important to know what you need it to be valued at. The difference between that is your wealth gap. So you need to know those two numbers. You need to know where you're at and where you want to go, and then have good people like Misty to help get you there.
Love that. If they want to get in touch with you, do you do consultations?
Yes, yeah. I'm always happy to talk to people. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me at Carson Wealth Highlands Ranch as well.
Okay. So tell us your name one more time. If they want to search for you on
Yeah,
LinkedIn
you might need to check the show notes for my spelling, but my name is Rachel Kramarchuk
with a K.
with a K.
Kramarchuk.
There you go.
I'm just reading it off of the screens. I'm cheating.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
you
you can
guys.
cheat too. Check the show notes.
Hit her up on LinkedIn. Let her know that you listened to an episode of Wealthy Mind and that you would like to have a consultation and go from there. Like, I fully support it. So go do that. And I am grateful to have you on the show. Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Misty.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys for being a wonderful audience. We love you. We just released our 100th episode last week, yeah, it was last week. By the time you get this, and the timeline's all messed up. This is episode 102. We just released 100. That was a huge milestone in our podcasting world. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you for helping us make that milestone possible. And thank you for being a great audience. So until next time, you guys take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.